If you enter a trade and it immediately moves against you, 9 out of 10 times you're getting stopped out. And that's not just bad luck. That's because the market gave you signals that seemed to be real, but weren't. And this happens to every trader, no matter how experienced you are. At a certain point, I gave up and just accepted that a large chunk of my trades would be losses, and I would just have to take it, part of doing business. But on a couple of trades, I realized that they all had one thing in common. If I was able to identify it, I could avoid these trades that dragged down my account. And I also realized, by contrast, the clean, winning trades all had one thing in common. And if I was able to identify that, I'd know which trades were worth taking. This method took me from being laughably inaccurate with my trades to finally being able to grow consistently. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works so you can apply it to your own trading immediately. Now, a lot of traders see the market as a game of roulette, where everything is entirely based on chance, and you don't know what the next move will be. It's impossible to predict. It quite literally has an equal chance of landing on each number, and nothing can influence or affect that. And in some ways, trading is like that. You don't know whether the market moves up, down, or sideways in this session. But here's where it gets different. The market doesn't have an equal chance of moving up, down, or sideways in each session. In one session, it might have a higher chance of moving up than moving down. In another session, it has a higher chance of moving sideways than of moving up or down. And this is where we finally start seeing the cracks in the market's randomness. This is where it splits from the random chance of roulette and actually becomes something you can build an enormous edge out of. Because when a trader finds a setup and they take a trade and that trade goes completely against them, they'll just say, oh well, on to the next trade. But the problem is, they don't know the actual reason behind why their trade didn't work. If that same type of trade would appear in the future, they'd make that exact same mistake again. They see it as a spin of a roulette wheel that didn't land on the number they bet on. But the thing is, there's a lot more going on here than just a roulette wheel, because the market has multiple forces acting on it at all times. The reason the market is so hard to predict accurately is not just because you need to guess a direction like up or down. It's because you need to guess how and where and when it'll get there. It's not just about getting direction right, it's about how clean the move is. It's about the quality of the move. That's how we can telegraph moves accurately before they happen. We need to master not just direction, but trade quality as well. So let's start with direction. This is the most important part, because if you get direction wrong, it doesn't matter how well your trade is positioned, it's going to get stopped out. Direction is just determining whether the market's more likely to go up or down next. And a lot of what you're taught to do here is multi-factor analysis, like considering the market's position, a few indicators, the volume, a bunch of other things. Combine all of it, and if enough of it agrees, that's your bias. But the problem is you don't have a repeatable, reliable way to determine direction. You're combining a bunch of factors that always change, then using your own judgment on top. Two unstable foundations, and combining them makes it worse. Because the key to being profitable long-term is a process you can repeat, regardless of how you feel or what conditions look like. If not, you're just using judgment and feel every trade, which is about as reliable as a roulette wheel. So we need a stable foundation, factors that don't change with conditions, and judgment removed from it entirely if possible. And that's exactly what a time frame is. A 1-hour chart is always a 1-hour chart. Now remember, the price moves because two forces are acting on it at once, and one of those forces is more dominant. So if buying pressure is stronger than selling pressure, the price will move up. If selling pressure is stronger than buying pressure, the price will move down. And if buying pressure is way stronger than selling pressure, then the price will move up in a much stronger, cleaner fashion. So the balance of buying and selling pressure determines which direction the price moves in, and the dominance of one side determines how clean that move is. Now, we can determine buying and selling pressure very simply, using time frames. Since we're day trading, the most important time frames are going to be the higher time frame like the 1 hour, and the lower time frame like the 5-minute. And to actually know the direction, all you need to do is add the 2050 EMA cloud on your chart. I go into more detail on exactly how to set this up and how it works in another video, which I'll link here. But it's pretty straightforward. If the cloud is sloping up, the market is trending up and is more likely to continue moving higher, and vice versa if it's trending down. This means you can get an instant read of the market's direction. But the time frame here is key. If the 5-minute has a trending cloud, but the 1 hour has a flat cloud, then the market's direction is uncertain. Because that means buying pressure from short-term buyers is there, but it's absent from long-term buyers on the 1 hour. And you need both. If you only have short-term support, then the move has no structure to actually break and move higher. If you only have long-term support, then the move has no short-term momentum to sustain a breakout. So if both the lower time frame and higher time frame aren't aligned in the same direction, it's a weak signal. It's especially bad if they're both pointing in opposite directions or both flat, because both forces are there, but they're canceling each other out instead of helping each other. So that's how you determine the direction. And this is pretty simple. But in order to be highly accurate, we need more than just direction. Because direction can tell you where the price is likely to move next, but it won't tell you how it'll get there. So in a way, it's incredibly important because it points you in the right direction to trade and prevents you from entering trades in the opposite direction. If the clouds were all pointing down, it would probably not be a good idea to buy the dip because you'd get crushed. So we're properly calibrated with the market. But it's not as simple as just looking at the slope and trading that way, because anyone can see that and do that. What really separates a highly accurate trader from the rest is trade quality, or the smoothness of the trade. This is how you know whether the move you're taking is going to run clean to your target or fight you the entire way there, even when you already have direction right. This is what's going to give you conviction in your trade dot. When the 5-minute cloud is sloping up slightly and the 1-hour cloud is sloping up slightly, then your bias should be bullish. But the chances of it moving up in a clear, straight line are very low. I mean, how could it? Where is it going to get that energy from? Buyers are only slightly motivated on both time frames. And remember what that actually means. It's not that there's no force at all. It's that the force is weak on both sides. Buyers have a slight edge, but sellers still have real pressure left too. They're not canceling out completely like they do when time frames are outright opposed, but they're not overwhelming each other either. So what you get is a shift to the upside, but a light one. Buyers nudging price up, and sellers pushing back just enough to slow it down every step of the way. That push and pull, back and forth, is exactly what chop is. We'd widen our stop a little to account for that fight. Now, if both time frames are trending strongly, there's no fight left to have. Short-term buyers and long-term buyers are both invested, and they're overwhelming sellers on all time frames. And if, of course, the cloud is sloping up too heavily and the price is far from the cloud, it means buyers got too ahead of themselves and there's no one left to buy, which either means ranging or a drop lower if sellers come in strong. That's how you determine the quality of a trade. So let me show you what that looks like in the real market. And by the way, if you want to actually apply this in your own trading, I've helped hundreds of traders do exactly that inside my accelerator program. You'll work with me one-on-one where we'll go over your charts, sharpen your trades, and track your growth. You'll also get access to a custom indicator and a community of traders all using this system. Check out the link below if you're interested. Now, this is on the 1 hour on ES, and we see here that the cloud is sloping up. This is a good sign and should indicate a bullish bias, right? But as we discussed before, the slope alone is not enough. We need to make sure the 5-minute cloud is also sloping up. And on top of that, we need to look at the quality of the slope. The quality makes the entire difference, and I'll show you exactly how in a few seconds. So if we go down to the 5-minute, we see that the cloud on this time frame isn't all that bullish. It's very thin, which tells us that there isn't one side which is entirely dominant. It's shifting back and forth between buyer and seller control, with buyers only having a slight advantage. That is, until recently, when the cloud flipped bearish here, and we got a series of lower highs and lower lows. So if you're looking at this 5-minute chart, you're not exactly the most bullish. For this move to continue to the upside, we would need to make the cloud flip again, make a series of higher lows and higher highs, and then break out of this range. So we have a long way to go before we consider buying. And even if we enter long, the move itself will probably not be clean. And interestingly enough, if we were to continue here, we see that the market just continues dumping and ranging, which completely neutralizes the bullish bias on the 1 hour. So that's what a weak bullish bias on the 1 hour would look like. This is what would make you doubt or hesitate before entering, and for good reason. If the 1 hour cloud was stronger, we'd enter much more quickly and effectively, because the market has a better chance of breaking higher in a clean fashion. So this is what most traders completely ignore or gloss over, and these subtle signals are the difference between a loss, a win, or nothing. Add that up over time, and you'd be surprised at what an enormous difference it makes. You could also see it in other sections of the chart. I mean, take this past move and look at the cloud. Notice how it's a stronger slope than the current cloud, and notice how that allows it to move up for multiple legs before slowing down. So taking a trade here would have been much more straightforward than taking a trade at the move we just saw. The price is above the cloud the whole time and barely touches it at all. Dips are immediately repelled. Now compare that to this move. where the price is able to dip into the cloud and stay there repeatedly. So being able to read the direction and also the smoothness of the cloud makes sure that you're basically never on the wrong side of the trade, and you're able to trade the best moves while avoiding the uncertain or mediocre ones. Now, instead of guessing whether a setup's actually going to work, you already know what kind of trade you're walking into before you're in it. Make sure to check out the accelerator if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next video.